good. I'm in good spirits.
Very well. Very well. So let's get to it. Children and youth in broadcasting. What went into the putting together the formation of this organization?
Thank you. So the year was 1996. A couple of women in Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, right next to us, they were in a group called Women in Broadcasting.
Okay.
And they felt, since Ghana had signed on to a legislation, a very key legislation in 1990, which was the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, as you heard our executive coordinator say.
Yeah.
We should find a way to practicalize it. We wouldn't want to wait for government to now see how best that document will be implemented. In our own small way, let's see how best we can implement this document or make sure it is brought into force. So they brought together a couple of children, said, oh, this is the International Children's Day of Broadcasting. Let's hear their voice. Let's put stakeholders next to the children and let us have a jaw and see what the children can also do. That singular initiative that brought together children and then persons in high stature, including the then Justice D.F. Annan, the late Justice D.F. Annan, set in motion something that will become a very powerful process that would span the length and breadth of Ghana, ensuring that children and young people everywhere are meaningfully engaged in the development of Ghana. So yes, that was how come Children and Youth in Broadcasting came into being.
And so you've been in existence since 1996?
Yes.
Right. But just in brief, what exactly is the organization about? You mentioned that, yes, you are supposed to enforce the document that is signed on child rights and so on. But do you have other things you do? Or what in specifics do you do to help that you are able to put this document in reality?
Exactly. So in order to make sure children are very, very meaningfully engaged, space was had on the radio.
Okay.
It was a 30-minute program. The program was called Little Curious Minds.
I see.
And that Curious Minds name has stuck till date.
But
so,
you know that curiosity kills the cat. Why, first of all, even before you continue, why the word curious? Curiosity kills the cat from that perspective.
Children like to ask questions. And yeah, curiosity kills the cat, but then the cat's still alive. So whatever good the cat gets from that curiosity, it definitely amounts to something good. So yeah, that 30-minute program, come read this poem, come say this rhyme, come read this little piece on air. And gradually the voice was becoming more profound, and so it moved from that 30 minutes
held on April 1, 2026 at the British Council in Accra celebrated the organization's unwavering commitment to empowering children and young people.
There were various pieces where some are scripted, and then a part of the discussion where it's just the young people, the children at that moment, having discussions on national issues about child labor, about child trafficking, about corporal punishment, about discipline and correction, about health, about almost anything you can think of that has a bearing on children and young people. And so that radio media thing was what grew from Accra, Kanda here, to various parts of the country, to Bojiase, to Cape Coast, to Wa, to Takrady, to Tamale, to Wa. I've mentioned Wa.
Yes.
And even Kumasi as well.
So right now you are in how many places? So
currently
about
5.
6.
Okay,
so 5.
Cape Coast, Accra, Wa, Tamale, KNUST campus.
Are you looking forward to expanding more into other places?
Of course. We want children everywhere. Our wish is that we would span the whole 16 regions of Ghana. Just so that child in that region, in that district, in that community somewhere gets the benefits that somebody like me has gotten growing up.
Okay, so you have been in existence for about 30 years. In fact, 30 years. You just celebrated your 30th anniversary.
Exactly.
Should I say happy birthday?
Oh, sure. Happy anniversary, happy birthday.
And congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. But what would you say has been the impact so far of the organization and the significance so far within the 30 years?
Exactly. So it has exposed a lot of young people to spaces they would hitherto not have gotten that opportunity to be in. It has given them the voice. It has created, if I would say, economy-changing professionals, persons who have been trained on their rights, persons who have been trained to know that rights go with responsibility, and they have added their school curriculum or coursework to it to become total all-round professionals growing up who wouldn't say this is the government's work to do, but then feel that sense of responsibility to impact their community. And so we feel if that is what has been achieved, it should continue to go on. There should be more persons like me who should be able to walk into any room today, speak eloquently, attach respect to what their demands is, but then hold government accountable for the development of young people, and make sure that in every space that we enter in this country, or even globally, we should see children and young people whose rights are respected, who are given that opportunity to develop. Because if you are saying the children are the future, and you're not putting in place mechanisms that will help them to become that responsible in future, our coordinator will always say, that child you fail to educate today is the one who will be going through your window some years to come, trying to find something to steal, to go and eat, because he hasn't been empowered, he hasn't been developed very well. And so let's not spare this aspect. We'll let the government take care of building schools, maybe making public amenities, roads, what have you, but then the children themselves need their capacities built. And someone needs to take responsibility for it.
I see. You talked about educating them on their rights. Exactly. In our part of the world, if you find a child who is standing up for him or herself, I know that this is my right, you got to do it right. You can't do this to me and all of that. And not just children, even young people. Once the young person is assertive, they know what they're about, they are termed as maybe rude or arrogant, disrespectful. How are you able to manage that? How are you able to draw the balance so that you are teaching the child that this is what you have to have, this is your right, and this is how you stand up for it? But how are you able to balance it so that when they go out there, they're able to demonstrate that without being considered rude and arrogant?
Of course, there could be those cultural, social dictates that make people feel that children are not supposed to be heard. Even in certain spaces, women or females are not supposed to be heard. They're supposed to be in the background. These are narratives we are trying to challenge. And so, yes, that aspect is there. Now, aside that, for someone to be considered rude, you might definitely be displaying some rudeness or some arrogance. And so we train young people to be respectful about how they go about it, to be tactful. So yes, you need to demand it, but make sure your approach is not disregarding everything else, making everyone feel like I know it all. I have arrived. That is what stands out when it comes to children in broadcasting and persons who've been trained to engage respectfully. And so it's not difficult to see stakeholders actually realizing that these are people we can partner with. These are people who want us to find a common ground. And we involve the stakeholders as well in our engagements. And so there are grown-ups like you who are also passionate about young people's development. And they only shut the door on a young person coming up to say, I need potable water in my community. I need access to electricity, the healthcare facilities in our community.
So it's not just about training them to know their rights. You also try to make them influence decisions in the community.
They're involved in advocacy. That's the whole reason why we train them.
I see.
You won't go out and ask for your right if you don't even know what the right is. I mean, you need to know that first, and then when you're engaging, and that older person realizes you're meaningfully speaking up, you're communicating very well, and you know your stuff. That person actually is able to side with you, is able to say, oh, consider me. We have A and B and C challenges, but then because of this request you've made, let's see how best we can partner or collaborate to find a solution to it. Or even bring ideas on board, because you don't just go and say, give me this. What's your idea in the first place? How do you think it can be helped? I'll cite a very good example. There was a guinea worm outbreak in Ghana, and we're trying to see how best that could be managed, especially in rural communities, of course. And so stakeholders went. There were the consultative meetings and what have you. And then one stakeholders said, let's also see what the children have to say. The children said they wanted football. They should give them access to football to play. And I said, well, let's give them what they said they wanted for a change to see what happens. The guinea worm infestation or the cases reduced, not because football is the solution, but it was because, thankfully, because they were engaged on the football field.
Yeah.
They weren't playing at that riverbed to
get
the infection. I don't know whether the children actually connected those dots. I don't know even whether the adults realized this was something they hadn't thought of. But quite strangely, that came from the mouth of a very young person. And so it gives credence to the fact that, yes, there are limits to what children can achieve. But then, once their voices are heard, once you are trying to involve them in some of these things, they even learn how best to even engage when they are older.
So talking about this advocacy thing and trying to lobby for projects, the training is enough for a young person to walk into that negotiation alone, or the organization in a way plays a role in that negotiation process?
We do play a role in it, but then anywhere you find yourself with that kind of training, you can also engage on your own.
So you don't just let the young person go into the negotiations alone?
So here's the thing. We train you. If it's probably on reproductive health, we train you. We identify a challenge we need to address. We bring stakeholders together. So we hold colloquiums, we hold stakeholders engagement, we hold community sensitization programs, we hold outside broadcast programs. So you can bring stakeholders, say representatives of Ghana Education Service, of Ghana Health Service, Department of Social Welfare, even the chiefs and unknown communities. And then we bring community folk, so market women, traders, taxi drivers, what have you. And then we bring the young people as well.
I see.
These young people have been trained. They even participate in radio programs. But this time around, they are not hiding behind a mic or speaking behind a mic without an audience. This is the challenge we've identified. From the voices of the children, this is how we believe if the approach is taken, it will help our cause. And then the Ghana Health Service, the Ghana Education Service lends their voice to it. If there are certain issues that require clarification from these, it's a very ready ground for them to engage and then find solutions together. Once everybody is leaving that their background, that community space, at the back of their minds, they know this is an engagement I've had with grown-ups. I might not have access to them in the community, or probably don't even know their names. But then through the work or this arrangement Curious Minds have made, I've gotten to see and engage with them. And even tomorrow, when I've left the community, when me, the organizer, have left the community, that young person can walk to the social welfare office and say,
I see,
I'm being abused, or my younger sister is being abused, so please help address it.
Yeah. But this community outreaches you speak about, how often do you hold them?
So they are based on projects, they are based on the availability. I mean, there's no cap to how many can be organized. If there's the avenue for it, if the stakeholders are on board, we do that. And it depends on the focal area as well. So it could range from child rights, it could range to reproductive health education, it could range to child trafficking and child labor.
Child trafficking is
exactly
but currently, what's the plan? What are the programs outlined
so currently? First, for our 30th anniversary, we'll be engaging in social media campaigns. We'll be doing media programs as well, radio, TV. In saying that, we are also reaching out to private media houses and persons who would want to sponsor, because airtime is not cheap. But then, if they are actually passionate about young voices, if they decide with what we are doing and feel a lot more children needs to benefit from this particular arrangement, they can come on board. They can speak to Channel 247 and say, this is what we want to do. How best do we get it done? This is the school we're identifying, and we want to ensure we have a chapter club there. Maybe find a patron in the school we can train to also train the young people to be able to speak effectively about their
you go to the school?
Yeah, we do that. We are already doing that in certain schools.
I see.
Within Accra, in Cape Coast, in Wa, in Tamale.
Someone is wondering, we are talking about children. If you have any specifications as to age, from what age to what age is qualified to be a part of the program, the very nice program you're rolling out.
Once the child can speak, once the child can hear and speak. So the only line here is that the child shouldn't, especially if it's a minor and needs assistance, shouldn't be left alone to participate. So if it's in the school setting, that's fine.
I see.
Once we are there, we know it's well catered for, we can arrange. But if it's maybe at a community venue or something, that child needs to be accompanied by a guardian or a parent. So it even shows that you, the parents, are very mindful about what your child is involved in, and you want to know very well, or you want to understand what the child is involved. But we don't have a cap. It's for persons who are older, like me, that the cap is. So AU describes a youth as somebody who is between the ages of 10 to 35.
Okay.
And so once you are beyond 35, you are not a child, you are not a youth.
So you're not coming.
You can support the work we do. You can volunteer, you can support, you can assist with things. But then when it comes to, and even once you are beyond the tertiary level, at times you even have other challenges that distract you as compared to a child who has relatively that freedom to also assimilate what is being studied and then get involved. And those are the people, organizations like Ministry of Gender, Department of Children, United Nations Population Fund, UNICEF and co. also realize and target, because they have that time to be nurtured, to grow, to become very responsible adults.
So would you say the organization is non-profit?
It is.
It's absolutely non-profit.
Absolutely non-profit.
So if I have a child, I'm a youth, I want to be part of the programs you roll out and all of that, I do that absolutely for free.
Once you are willing to be part of, once you are very, very willing to be part of that, nobody's going to take a CD from you for it. If you form the chapter club and among yourself you decide to take dues just so you can self-sustain yourself, maybe when you meet you buy some water, some drink or something, that's fine. But then we don't charge we don't charge monies for participating in this particular. And I believe it is also one of the reasons why it has continued to grow the way it is. Despite the challenges of financially blowing up, or like even having something established as a media village, which we want to do as part of our 30th anniversary. But then, it's free for everyone. So you wouldn't say because I don't have money, I couldn't be part of it.
There will definitely be a lot of challenges. We'll speak about those, but before we do, a child is listening, maybe a school leader is listening and wants to form that chapter. How should that person go about it?
If they reach out to us on social media, on our website, so social media, for Facebook is Curious Minds Ghana.
Curious Minds Ghana. Okay.
Hyphen is the dash.
Okay. Okay.
On Instagram and X is at CM Ghana.
At CM Ghana. On Instagram and X.
No X TikTok. Is Twitter. No, not yet on TikTok.
Oh, you should. You should look out for it. Quick, sharp. You should move sharp.
On LinkedIn too is Curious Minds Ghana.
Oh, okay.
Curious Minds Ghana.
LinkedIn and then the is for serious people.
www.cmghana.org, not com.org. www.cmghana.org. If you reach out through any of these channels, just say I want to join Curious Minds. You'll be reached out to. No matter your location, somebody will reach out to you.
I see.
You can be assisted.
And so if I am in a school, I want to create a chapter now, I give you a call. You will come there to help me put the chapter together. I see. That's interesting. Tell me about the challenges. It's not easy to run a non-profit organization and be making the kind of impact that you're making. How are you able to kind of go through some of these challenges? So the challenges and how you're able to maneuver so far over 30 years. That's incredible. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we've had challenges with persons who have been very actively engaged because financially they're not endowed to be paying big money. Eventually they have to move on to other places. But then also I feel that also keeps the wheel turning, and so you have a younger person replacing from time to time. But then at least you feel like you need some kind of structure that settles you down, so that at least if that one person is leaving, if those two persons are leaving, they could have probably trained those who will be replacing. So it has over the years been a huge challenge. Of course, financially, I would always have this thing ringing on my mind when I was writing my thesis, and then the one training us or teaching us project work, report writing said, when it comes to challenges, don't say financial problem. Everybody has financial problem in Ghana.
So what should we say then?
But then you still find financial challenges in everybody's project work, because whether you like it or not,
it's a problem
that exists. Yeah. And so we've also had our fair share, but then we feel we've been able to be resilient in all of these, because there have been organizations who from time to time come in to assist in one way or another. So we don't go completely broke at any point in time. But then because of how it's from time to time, and there isn't that targeted core funding that is supporting this very nice process, we would require that kind of stability, that will ensure that a lot more young people are being able to be trained. I mean, if I'm telling a volunteer to go and assist in community A or community B,
you need
or
to
something,
offer transportation and all of that.
Exactly. And so gone are the days when volunteering was like the age. It was a flex. These days, people hardly volunteer and not even ask for financial returns in play. We could mention COVID-19. We could mention maybe government policies. We could mention even GBC itself, sort of losing that catch the private as well as part of the challenges. But then despite it all, we've been able to.
So you just in 1 minute, give me your final words and your plea to the Ghanaian population who are watching us right now, what they can do to help keep this project going on. Just in 1 minute.
In 1 minute, I would say meaningful youth participation or meaningful inclusion of young people. If we are very, very careful about meaningful inclusion of young people, it will help us very much. It will bring them as part of the solution rather than they being seen as challenges or problems. And to our appeal, please, Momo our mobile line is 059 326 5945. 059 326 5945 or 5950.
What's the name that would come?
So for the number is Theophilus Kingsley Obintre. Theophilus Kingsley Obintre. Or either ways, if you reach out to us on any of our social media platforms,
they should get
assist you.
Very well. Sammy, thank you very much for
I'm really grateful. Very, very
grateful. Very well. Samuel Kwe is Programs Manager at Children and Youth in Broadcasting, amplifying the young voices and making sure that it carries a lot of weight and power on the national level as well as on the global scale. But thank you very much for staying with us. Stick with us. There's more on the show right after this break.